Well, hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be tier ranking all of the books of Phase 1 of the High Republic, and we will be including the audiobook too, but I will not be including the comics because I don't even think I've read half of them, because they're a lot harder for me to get a hold of, but I can get a hold of books clearly. I have also read Mission to Disaster. I just do not own it physically. It is missing from my tower. So if you have not heard of tier ranking, it is essentially when you have a set of tiers and then you rank each book's or whatever thing you're ranking in those tiers. And if you are not already following me on any of my social medias, those are linked down below as always. And if you need a sip of water, get that. Stay hydrated. If you're where I'm at, it is too hot. Now, let's get into explaining my ranking thing. My ranking machine, etc. Obviously, I'm just using the website that popped up, a year or two ago. That thing. Okay, so let's explain my tiers and why I've named them the names I have. Some of them are inside jokes with High Republic Twitter or the Discord that I'm a part of. So that's that. Of course, the top tier is Wizard, because why would I not make it Wizard? That is Ram Jamaram's influence on the Star Wars world. Next, we have, for the one that's, still pretty good, but isn't quite like Wizard good, is Hottest New Celebrity on Corellia. And that is obviously a reference to Midnight Horizon, and the tendency on Corellia to always have like your hottest new celebrity, so that's that. And then mid, we have Jedi romance holonovel, because I don't remember which book it's referenced in, but apparently there is like Jedi romance holonovels, or at least stuff being written about them on the holonet, and I think that's amazing and still really good, but it's not quite Wizard tier or Hottest New Celebrity on Corellia, so it's going to be our middle tier. And then our next tier that's not like the worst thing that could happen to you, but it's still pretty freaking bad, is John Krasinski as, and that is in reference to the many times John Krasinski has either jokingly or seriously been fan casted as a High Republic character. So yeah. And then finally, the last tier, the worst tier, is of course Dusted, in reference to Loden Greatstorm, and now I'm gonna leave it at that. Those that know what Dusted means. Warning, there might be some slight spoilers in here. I'm gonna try and keep it pretty spoiler light. I don't plan on, spoiling anything, especially since, honestly, I can't remember, much about, the first wave of this Phase 1, because that was a little bit ago, and I have horrible memory when it comes to book plots, etc. And I haven't even read or reread any of my notes about these, because we're just going to go on pure vibes. What I remember is what's going to happen. I am honestly expecting to not put anyone in Dusted, just because I really love everything about this, but we will see. And let's get started. Let's start with the middle grade books. And so our first one is going to be A Test of Courage, which, where is the cover? There it is. A Test of Courage. I'm going to put it in John Krasinski as, just because it definitely wasn't my favorite even of the middle grade books. I loved it. It was great, and it's the beginning of Vern and Emery's relationship together, or knowing each other, and they just get better with each book, because they are the main guys of the middle grade series. But it's the beginning, so not everything is there yet, not all the things. So keeping with the middle grades, we're gonna go with Race to Crash Point Tower next. And since that is one of the main ones with my boy Ram Jamaram, who is my absolute, he's probably one of my top characters. And this is his first main stage, main moment book. But it's not his best one. And even Vern isn't even in this one. This one I think is mainly Lula, and we're gonna go with Hottest New Celebrity on Corellia. We're gonna go with that tier, because I love Ram, and this is his first one. This is the first one with the Bond Brox and everything, and it is really great, and it's happening at the same time as The Rising Storm, which is an insane book. but it's not Ram's best moment. There's another book with Ram that are like his best moments, and so we're gonna keep that open for that one to top it. And last but not least, in the middle grade section, we have Mission to Disaster, which is my most recently read one. Like, I literally finished it like a day ago, and it was fantastic. Shout out to one of the best lines of "Let's ice these gators," in reference to fighting the ice gators. Like, top tier. I'm gonna put it in Jedi romance holo novel, because damn, like, goddamn, I love it. It was so good, but I think I like Race to Crash Point Tower more, even though I loved so many awesome moments in it. And peep my chopper hat that I made that I wanted to wear for this video, but I forgot about, but then I went to put it on and it kept my face in way too much shadow, so let's go and chill on the stack. So let's move on to the YA books. First one, we've got Out of the Shadows. Wait, no. No, it's not. No, it goes Into the Dark first, doesn't it? We do Into the Dark first with my boy Wreath, which is another top favorite of this series. But this isn't his top moment. Again, this is the beginning. This is not his top moment. No, it's gonna be John Krasinski as, like I said, it's great. It's pretty freaking solid, but it is nowhere near my favorite book or even favorite moments of Wreath, who I do love dearly. Like, some of these books are like my top 10 general books, but that one is not. Then we got Out of the Shadows, which gave me some great moments, especially as someone who's read the one Thrawn trilogy and has read one book of the second Thrawn trilogy. This has got some moments in there for those types of fans, for those Twitter fans. So I'm gonna go hottest new celebrity on Corellia. That is what Out of the Shadows deserves. That is where it's gonna go, because moments from everyone in this, and the cat, the giant ass cat, and Emery's moments with those, fantastic. So next we have Midnight Horizon, and that is an immediate freaking wizard. It's got Wreath, it's got Ram Jamaram, it's got everything. It is a top tier High Republic book, and I would recommend it to anyone, though of course you should read at least the 2 YAs that come before that, just because they're all connected. Everything's connected in this. And this is probably, I mean, if you did not know this already about the High Republic, but the High Republic has some of the best representation of anything in Star Wars. Like, you've got LGBTQ, you've got people of color, you've got women. You've got a lot in this book series that you have not seen anywhere else in Star Wars. And you've got alien representation. There's like some really new fun aliens, including my boy Geode. Shout out to Geode. I'm still sorry for potentially eating you at Disneyland. Considering what Vintian Moose is made out of. That's like a really big question of mine. What makes up Vintian Moose? Am I eating a Vintian, or is it from wherever Vintians are from? A bit off topic, but also on topic because we're discussing Geode. But like I said, Midnight Horizon is it's my favorite of the YAs, and it's one of my favorites of, in general, Phase 1 of the High Republic. Yeah, and it's on Corellia, and so we've got shipyards and everything. We've got Ram geeking out over the shipyards, and we've got Wreath going through some of his big moments in this one, and it's so good. Okay, and before I do the adult books, I think I'm going to do Tempest Runner first, which is the audiobook. If you are a character study person or a character person, you will love Tempest Runner, because this is literally all about Lorna D and how she got where she is now. And because of that, and because I do love me an evil woman, I'm going to give this hottest new celebrity on Corellia, because it wasn't my favorite, again, out of all the High Republic stuff, but like, it was fantastic. I am usually not an audiobook person, but Star Wars audiobooks, especially audio dramas, which is essentially what this is, are like on another level. They had a full cast. There's music, there's sound effects, there's everything. So really it's like listening to an episode of something. And, you know, we got those French accent Twi'leks again. And just Lorna D's story is really, really cool. And so that is why it gets to be hottest new celebrity on Corellia. So now we are on to these three. The adult books. The adult books. We are on to them. And first off is The Light of the Jedi, which sadly took me a while to read. Like, it took me a little bit to get into it. And that is part of why it is going to end up in John Krasinski as whatever fan cast it is. Just because, I don't know why, Light of the Jedi was not it for me. Like, it did not pull me in even as much as, like, Into the Dark pulled me in. It just, not really. Test of Courage. Yeah, I'd have to say out of the first phase, A Test of Courage was my favorite one. Light of the Jedi was just, it was cool. And it was cool to get introduced to these characters. It was just weird because Avar Kriss is like a main character in this. And then she disappears into the comics and is in the comics almost only in the comics and then isn't really here. And that was a bit strange to me. Like, some of these, they came back in the last book. Like, Into the Dark, our main character was Reath, and Reath was, like, kinda in this, but then came back strong in Midnight Horizon. And then again, Test of Courage, our main characters was, like, Vern and Imri, and they weren't really in this one, but then they came back in Mission to Disaster, super strong. The adult books did not have that kind of connection or story arc connection to them, which is fine. They were really cool, and each book was really interesting. Didn't quite have the same connection as the other sets. And maybe that's intentional. Maybe Avar is the main character of the comics for a reason, or going to come back in, like, if we follow Star Wars tradition, because Phase 2 is a prequel to this. So that means Phase 3 might be a sequel to this, and so maybe Avar will come back strong in that phase. But who knows? It just was not anywhere near my favorite book, so it's going as John Krasinski as, because nothing really hits Dusted. No one really counts for Dusted, because I did enjoy all these books overall. Next, we have The Rising Storm, because I've got the last two left, so they kind of have to go in different tiers, so I have to really think about which one I liked more. The Fallen Star, or The Rising Storm. I am going to have to go with Rising Storm Wizard, The Fallen Star, hottest new celebrity on Corellia. Because I really loved both these books. These both had really emotional and heart-wrenching and just those kinds of moments. But overall, I think I liked Rising Storm more. And Rising Storm is like one of my tops of the High Republic. Fallen Star did make me cry. It did, I'll give it that. I just never quite liked Claudia Gray's writing. But I do really enjoy Cavan Scott's writing so far of what I've read of his stuff, which it's just this one book, but I really enjoyed it. And I'd say the character development in this is some of my favorites. Fallen Star was more just, the shit's going down, we know what's happening now, and it's gonna be sad, but like, shit's going downhill from this point, and that's just what's gonna be. But Rising Storm, oh, and the ending, just when you thought it was over and then it wasn't, that was hard-hitting. That was hard-hitting. In the Dusted tier, we have nothing, because none of these books deserve being dusted. They are still all really good. In the John Krasinski as tier, we have A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland, Into the Dark by Claudia Gray, and Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. These books were still really great, they just were nowhere near being my favorites. In Jedi Romance Holonovel, we have Mission to Disaster by Justina Ireland. This has really great moments, but there's better moments from these characters in some of the other books. Or I have other characters that I like a lot more in the other books. And our hottest new celebrities on Corellia are Race to Crash Point Tower by Daniel Jose Older, Out of the Shadows by Justina Ireland, and Tempest Runner by Cavan Scott, and finally, The Fallen Star by Claudia Gray. These books, again, all absolutely fantastic, have some great character moments and great character depth and development, but they are not my top two favorites. My top two favorites are, in the Wizard tier, Midnight Horizon by Daniel Jose Older, In the Rising Storm by Kevin Scott. And that is my tier ranking of Star Wars The High Republic's Phase 1 books. And books only, because I've only read some of the comics. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tier ranking, and I hope that you will go also tier rank, because I'm going to make sure to put the link to this. I think I can link this down below in the description, so you can go make your own rankings. And I'm excited to see what you guys have, what you guys think, because I'm sure everyone has different feelings, different opinions, and also, of course, different authors they gravitate towards, because it seems, based on this, I really like Daniel Jose Older and Kevin Scott's writing the most out of this so far. And I hope this gets us a little hyped up for Phase 2, which is coming soon. So it looks like it's going to be Star Wars The High Republic Phase 2, The Path of Deceit is going to be the first one out in October, and then the other two are out in November for the first phase books. No, first wave of Phase 2 books. I don't know why they made it phases and waves, because it messes me up so much. Now let's get on to our reminders. Please follow me on my other socials. They're always down below. My Twitter is especially the best place to look for updates on books I'm reading, because like I have threads from a couple of these books, like where I just wrote down all my thoughts on Twitter about these books, so you can go check those out. Those threads are somewhere in there. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I plan to, of course, have more High Republic themed videos somehow. It is honestly some of my favorite Star Wars ever. It is fantastic. I love it. And I think that's it. So, bye.